Coming to you from the Temple of Triumph on the plain of Theros, this is Tap Tap Concede.
Oh, Graham, you yawned right before you started, and then I yawned while you were...
While I was doing that?
Yeah.
Well, enjoy
They're
that.
contagious.
Well, let's see if yawns are contagious just from talking about them. Hey, everyone, I just yawned. See how that works out for you. Hey, everybody, welcome to Tap Tap Concede. Graham here.
I'm James.
I'm tired. No, I'm Kathleen.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about Theros Block Limited and how that's been shaping up, draft-wise specifically. When I say limited, that could mean draft or sealed, but draft, because I have opinions. And also, James drafted like 4 times last night, so he can
I
tell us
have
a little bit about
opinions
that.
too. Strong opinions.
I have some triumph.
All right.
All right.
But before that, we're going to crack a pack from our stack of packs.
Our stack of 10 now.
Our stack of 10. It's getting smaller
We had 12 last time, and then we cracked one, and then James cracked one on stream.
on stream.
And I have a D10 here.
So we're going to roll it up. He's going to roll a 7. 1, 2. Damn it. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wait. Oh, 7.
7.
That's 7. Wait, are you sure there was 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's
Okay,
10.
so it's actually
Japanese.
M12
Oh boy.
In
So
the
basically just M12
with the weird
with the weird like hangy bit for the.
hangy booster pack. So let's see. This will be fun.
Now we need
Can
to
we remember
yeah,
what
remember
the card names were
Yeah,
from M12.
from the art.
I like to think I'm good at
I
this.
think
but-
I can remember some of these.
All right, Incinerate. I recognize that one.
And I picked that one. That's a good card.
Recognize. Yeah, and so Incinerate is... Oh, this is the tricky part. Incinerate. 1 and a red. Deal 3 damage to target creature or player.
Cannot-
If it's a creature and it dies, it can't be regenerated.
Correct.
Okay. We have Paul on the computer there, so he can tell me if any of the Oracle text is incorrect. So that's pretty great.
Crap.
It's a swarm.
Let's
It's
see.
something swarm.
It's the stupid.
It's not Jagwasp Swarm. That's from Zendikar. It's a 2/1 for 1 black
Uh-oh.
with flying.
Paul's
and
got it.
Other rules text involving +1/+1s.
Devouring Swarm.
Devouring
Thank
Swarm.
you.
That's what it is.
It is a, it's 1 and 2 black, and it is a flying and sacrifice a creature. Devouring Swarm gets +1/+1 till end of turn.
There we go.
Right.
All right.
Terrible card.
That's not, I mean,
That's not good.
in the right deck. Oh, I know this one. You know this
The,
one?
the Armored Warhorse.
Armored Warhorse.
That's
It's
just a vanilla 2/3 for 2 white.
yeah.
Yep.
Seems fine actually now that I look at it.
Yeah,
No, it was a
honestly.
good card. I mean, that card exists. No, I guess in green, it's more like a 3/2, generally
It
speaking.
is, but we saw
In green, it's a 3/3.
There's both.
Last podcast there was the Elvish Warrior,
Yep.
which was the 2/3 for green
Yep.
green, and this is a 2/3 for white. He seems just fine. This is I believe a Stormfront Pegasus.
Stormfront? Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure this is
yeah.
Stormfront.
It's
Yeah,
Stormfront.
it's a Stormfront
Yeah,
Pegasus.
1 and a white
For a
2/1 with flying.
I can't see them at all if you the way you've
That's-
been holding them.
That's a
Graham.
legit
Yeah.
card.
So I have no input into this.
I'll
But
take that
now,
card.
how about now?
Yeah,
the
I
way
can
I'm
see it
holding it
now.
now. Okay, fine then. All right, how about that one?
That's fling.
Yes,
Yeah.
obviously that's fling.
Sacrifice creature. Basically, fling at the person, deals damage to its
To creature or player equals to the
pet power.
of the sacrificed creature.
Creature. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can hit them with hit them for 5 with like a 5 power guy. If they take it, they take 5.
This
and
is
then you fling it.
the Titans were in the set, right? So you could fling Titans.
That's true. Ooh, we could get a Japanese Titan.
Oh my God.
That could be pretty sweet.
Hey, I know this card.
Everyone knows discard.
I can't see
I want to
that.
make sure Paul can catch up.
Oh,
Is Paul on fling already?
Yeah, he's on fling
Okay,
right
sweet.
now.
Llanowar Elves.
Llanowar Elves is up next.
Yeah.
It's a 1-drop, 1/1. Tap it to add 1 green to your mana pool.
Now this is interesting. Have we talked about this before? The weird. I've only heard it brought up mostly on the Magic subreddit. A thing that a misunderstanding that can exist amongst new players.
Okay.
That what that means, adding green to your mana pool. I've seen that because of the way they do the art now. There are some on lands. There are some new players who believe that what this means is you tap. They think your mana pool is the land you have in play.
Yeah.
and that this means you get to basically tutor for a forest.
For a forest, yeah.
Which would be busted.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. So that's not true. Oh,
Paul's like
Paul's
repping the
using
old art, old ugly.
Landmore Elves art.
Just the worst.
All right. How about this guy?
Ah, crap. I don't remember what
It's
it's
a
called.
Leonin
Is it Pride Mage or something?
Quizali
No.
Pride Mage.
No.
No.
That's what I wanted to
I'm gonna
say
say
first.
like Leonin Gatekeeper.
He's a 0/3.
He's a cat monk, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
He's a 0/3 for 1 white. I want to say he's a something gatekeeper, and he has
Nope, Paul's
not
shaking his head.
Gatekeeper.
No.
Crap, I don't remember this card. See, these are the problems is that I won't remember the cards I didn't really play, and I don't remember playing this card.
That's
That's
it.
it. What is it?
Pride Guardian.
Is
Oh.
a Pride Guardian.
Haha, I'm wearing my glasses.
And-
I could read Paul's screen from
He is
here.
a 0/3 for 1 white. He has Defender,
Oh yeah,
and whenever he blocks, you gain 3 life.
I knew there was life gain in
Yeah.
there somewhere. Very nice.
That's a lot better than the Aresco Sun Guide or whatever it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
The
because you
Oresco
have
Sun Guide is the 2/2 for 1 white that untaps.
and you gain 2 life.
No,
Yeah,
that's the Sun Guide's better than that, I think.
Because
that's more reliable for getting the life gain.
Yeah, but the
You
life
don't-
game is.
You don't want the Sun Guide just for life gain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want
that's
it as the 2/2 for 2.
What about this one? I know this one. Do you guys know it?
Since like Slaughter Pack. No.
No,
Close.
it's like Goblin
James is closer.
Oh crap.
Slaughter Cry.
Slaughter Cry. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
Slaughter Pact is
Yeah.
is a removal spell from the Pact cycle where you cast the spell for free,
and
but then
you
if
have to
don't
pay.
If you don't pay for it next turn, you lose.
In your yeah.
So if
I'm
I remember correctly,
impressed.
Slaughter Cry is the creature gets +3/+0, which it actually says here
Yeah.
in the middle of all the Japanese characters, and I want to say First Strike.
Yep. That's
Yay,
correct.
Got it. All right. What about this guy?
The Glade Cover Scout or something like that.
1/1 with hexproof.
Yeah.
For 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a very complex pair of characters to illustrate hexproof in Japanese.
Well, it's all a reminder text as well.
No, yeah, but I'm talking about those characters.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right.
Huh?
Was that the 1/3?
1/3 with.
I think they put this in M14 too. Actually, this Griffin.
I think so. Yep.
I can't remember.
I want to call it Griffin Sentinel,
Yeah.
and I want to say
Yeah.
it's a 1/3 flying with vigilance.
Yes.
Is it Vigilance? Yeah.
Is that card also an M14?
Or yeah.
Yeah, it was M14. Yeah.
Oh. Ooh. Now we're getting into the uncommons. Oh, I
Is that?
recognize
It's not
this one.
Zephyr Charge.
No.
No, that's a
This is it's a blue enchantment that gives all your creatures flying. I
Yeah.
believe.
yeah. I don't remember at all what it's called.
So it's casts for 2 blue. It's an uncommon blue enchantment that gives all your creatures flying, and I don't remember the name because it came up so rarely, and it was never ran it usually.
we gotta dig deep for this one.
This is the tricky part with doing the foreign cards. I mean,
Paul,
It's got a bunch of horses. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
got a bunch of guys on horses.
In the clouds, it looks like.
Yeah,
There's not any of those.
Keep going. Keep going.
I gotta say this.
There
There
it
it
is.
is.
This is good for
That one.
What's it called?
Righteous. No, not righteous charge.
That's Levitation.
Oh.
It's just called levitation.
Yeah, it's
Really should have known that. Oh,
blue,
well.
blue, and 2,
Yep.
Yeah.
and it's just an enchantment. Creatures you control have flying.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Ooh.
Deathmark.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Kathleen cracked that one off immediately.
I know all my black removal spells.
And what is Deathmark?
Destroy target white or green creature.
I believe you are correct.
I know the black removal spells. Thank you very much.
What about this thing?
Oh, something
It's
insight.
like
isn't
Predator's
it?
Insight.
I think so. Some sweet looking
Cerise-
Teresa Nelson
yeah.
art.
Teresa. Yeah.
Is it insight? I don't even remember. This one I do not remember.
It's a green instant. Looks like.
Might be a
2
sorcery.
green and 2 and a
Predator's
green.
insight or
Hunter's Insight.
Hunter's
Oh.
It was
insight.
him.
Yeah.
It is an instant, isn't it?
It is an instant
Haha.
And what does it say?
for green and 2 colorless. Choose target creature you control. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn, draw that many cards.
Oh, right.
This is
This
the
is similar to Hunter's Prowess.
It is,
from
yeah,
Born
from
of the
Born
Gods.
of Gods, yeah.
yeah. This is actually one of the first sort of flirtations with green card draw.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
you look at
There's
like,
been
like Harmonize back in the day. Like green card draw is tertiary in green or secondary in green.
Tertiary.
In the color palette.
But it's the whole thing with like tying card draw to actually dealing damage.
Dealing damage, yeah. All right, what's last?
It's a mythic.
It's a mythic. Is it a
Planeswalker?
Nope.
Is it a Titan?
Nope.
Is it one of those do-nothing mythics?
Is it the dragon?
It's the dragon.
Crap, what was the dragon in M12?
It casts.
Nicol Bolas?
It's a 6/6.
No, isn't it the Bloodthirst dragon?
Yep.
Yeah, because this was the Bloodthirst dress.
It's the 6/6 with Bloodthirst
6. Yeah, flying
for 4 red.
Yeah. Fury-born Hellkite.
Oh, I think James got it.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah, Fury-born
got there.
And an Islander.
Ooh.
All right, so what are you going to take first?
Clearly, I slammed the Hellkite. Look at that thing.
Do you really?
I probably. Honestly, I probably do.
Resolve it. How quick was this format? You could probably resolve a 7-drop.
I
don't know.
It wasn't that good. Honestly, I'd probably take the Incinerate or the Llanowar Elves.
Yeah.
It's probably
This is not
the
an
pick.
amazing pack, actually.
It's not that deep. You're not passing any crazy green. There's no blue. You're never taking Levitation.
No.
You're never taking the Insight or the Scout. All these white cards are
Meh.
more or less not that great. Super mediocre, you want to pick them up 7th, 8th kind of thing,
Yeah.
not first pick. You're not first picking any of these black cards.
No.
Yeah, it's basically you're
think it's Incinerate.
you're picking either Incinerate for the removal or green, the Llanowar Elves for going into ramp, or you're taking the Hellkite just because it's giant and crazy and you can't really beat a 6/6, let alone a 12/12 flyer.
Agree.
It's not easy. So.
All right.
So,
Speaking of green,
yeah.
so a couple of weeks ago, maybe on stream, I was talking and I was defending the aspect of Hydra because as funny and as good as it was in the Mono Badger challenge deck that you guys did, or I guess just you, Graham.
Well, so I did the video on MTGO Academy. Just very, very quick background.
Catch us up.
Did the video on MTGO Academy where I wanted to force Charging Badger in triple Born of the Gods. And I ended up mono green, and Aspect of Hydra ended up typically being a +7 in that deck because
it was
because
the
it was
win condition.
heavy mono green. And then James and I did it the next week on stream again in the Swiss. And were we mono green again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just forced mono green.
Yeah, and we
ended up going 3-0.
3-0 in the Swiss both times, and the consensus from most of the chat was that was really funny, but of course Aspect of Hydra is not that great outside of this mono green thing.
And I said, no. I think Aspect of Hydra is good, even if you're not mono green. It's better, obviously, if you are mono green, and then it's better if you're heavily green. But say you only get +2/+2 out of it. It's still a combat trick that targets your guys and possibly gets you a heroic trigger and gives your creature +2/+2, which is pretty good as far as Theros combat tricks go.
What makes it good?
It's not amazing.
But the thing is, what makes it really good as a +2/+2 is that it only costs 1.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So assuming you're getting, obviously if you're in a green and other color deck and you only have a creature of that other color, it's very unlikely that Aspect is doing anything.
Aspect
So
can be completely
we're assuming you're running this in a at least half, preferably heavier green deck.
I was not saying it was on the LR scale. I was not saying it's an A.
No.
I was saying it goes up from a D, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of this is super conditional, to maybe a C+ if you're running a mono green or heavy green deck.
Yeah, because if you
it's
can
still
get,
not as good as just having a creature, but
no, but if you can get a +2/+2 for 1, that's pretty good in the realm of Theros block combat tricks. Ideally,
you need 3.
But the thing
there
is,
are so many combat tricks in this format.
Yeah,
there are a lot.
A giant growth would be bonkers in Theros block.
But that's the thing, is the difference between that 1 point is
huge.
enormous.
It's massive.
You want this to be at least a +3/+3 if you're using it as a combat trick,
But
because
if you're in a deck where you're
there's
running,
so many +2/+X combat tricks.
if you're in a
floating
deck
around.
where you're running 10/7,
if you're in
forests over your other color,
over any X color, you'll probably play
if you
Aspects.
got a couple Swordwise Centaurs or Setessan Oathsworn,
Nylea's Disciple.
any
any
if you've got
Nessian Asp.
If you've got a handful of creatures, well, Nessian Asp is good in any green deck, but if you've got a handful of creatures that have 2 green pips,
Yeah.
Which is not unrealistic.
yeah, exactly.
When you're playing green.
then I think Aspect of Hydra is really good.
Yeah.
So
no,
anyhow,
it's fine.
so everybody was like, man, I was like, no, I like it. I think it's good. If you're playing the right kind of deck, it's still not a high pick, but I think D is too low for this card if you are playing a green deck. Move it up.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, that was sort of the end of the discussion. And then imagine my delight, my cackling delight. I ran
Your
in and told-
vindication.
my vindication. I was listening to the latest episode of Limited Resources, and who other than B. Wong starts talking about the Green Devotion deck, saying, it's not bad. If you're, green, if you're in a green deck and it's like, heavier green, you can get it up to like +5/+5. It is a really good trick. And I was like, yes, vindication, yes. So
Yeah.
green.
If you're in that thing, yeah.
People, I was noticing on the page for the card, people seem to be coming around because it currently has a 3.8 out of 5 community
little
rating.
high.
Well, I mean, no, I
Nice.
think it's fine. People are coming around on green, especially in this draft format. I think people are starting to realize that everybody is going heavy. They get trapped into red or white
Green,
early on.
The thing
and
is, green isn't exciting in Born of the Gods, but it's really solid.
It's yeah.
oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
really
'cause
good.
Born of the Gods, red and white are very strong,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not as good in Theros. And you're still doing 2-packs Theros.
Can you think of a green common that you're happy first picking? Because there's red commons, there's Bolt of Keranos, there's white commons, there's
No.
the
Not in
Skyguard,
Born of the Gods.
right? There's black, there's Asphyxiate, right?
But black
There's
got
blue.
bad.
I can't think of
Like
it
black
offhand.
and blue did not.
No, I'm talking in Born of the Gods.
know.
Is there a common green that you're happy first picking? No.
No.
The Centaur is basically the only one.
The
Yeah, but-
Swordwise Centaur?
The Swordwise
I'm not-
Centaur.
I'm not
It-
happy with that as
is-
a first
It's
pick.
pretty
Unless
bad.
Well, I mean, if
unless I'm just like, I
if
want
the
to go
pack
to green.
No,
How
I
bad
mean,
is that pack?
if the pack is kind of shallow, I'm not angry at first picking this. I don't want to, but
I'm talking like comparable to Bolt of Keranos or a Crone Skyguard, right? Those are cards that you're like, I will gladly take that first. Swordwise Centaur, I'm not happy to take that first.
I will take Centaur over Bolt any day.
Well, now
Really?
that's a different discussion that I do want to get into as well. Is this friggin' thing that's already been said by other people, but the state of red in Born of the Gods is so annoying because it's so good, and there's so many good cards: Bolt of Keranos, Fall of the Hammer, Searing Blood. There's so many good red removal spells that everyone's fighting for red, and it's so annoying.
And it's so bad when you get to Theros. You get to Theros and you're like, ugh.
Well, because
right?
then everyone's fighting over it.
Yeah, I mean,
and the red is not as like deep in Theros, right?
No, it's not.
So
Red was one of the least good.
Limited Resources explores this in a lot more detail, but basically their read on it was you get suckered into going red because the cards are legitimately extremely good, and then you get to Theros and you're like, F.
Yeah.
There's nothing good here,
I
and the
started
cards
just-
that are in my color are bad.
I mean, I'm clearly not the only one who's started like passing red, because when I'm now getting Fall of the Hammer like 6th pick, when previously people would be first picking Fall of the Hammer, right? It's like, oh, a lot of people are just trying to stay out of red now.
They're staying out of that trap.
Yeah. And that's why people are coming around on green, which I really like. And so you were saying that blue-black isn't as strong, or at least I've been having a harder time putting it together. But I am enjoying green-black,
Yeah, green black got a lot better.
which brings us to a deck that, James, you were looking at, or not looking at, that you drafted.
that I drafted last night.
Last night, actually, which we have to bring up on screen for you here, in fact.
Yeah, we're
my goodness,
super
we're so
organized. Look at
prepared.
that. Look at that.
So tell us a little bit about this
So-
bonkers deck you drafted.
Okay, so the deck legitimately, if you follow me on Twitter and if you follow Connolly Woods on Twitter, honestly inspired by the standard deck that he posted last night. He's posted sort of a standard green-black. I love it. It's so good. Go check it out. His Twitter handle is Connolly81. But I was like, I want to draft a really cool green-black deck on Mitgo. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to draft until I get that deck. And it was the first draft I did. And it worked out really well. So you can see up on screen, my first pick was Herald of Torment.
Who's real good.
who's real good and who showed up 3 out of 4 drafts last night for me on my first pick, which was awkward. I actually first picked the black card all 4 times. I went Herald of Torment, and then the 3/4 that pings a guy.
Oh, the Fate Unraveler.
Thank you, Fate Unraveler.
Yep.
On the 3rd pack, and then back to Herald on the 4th. And it was just like, ugh, okay. So I first picked that, and I was like, cool, off to a good start. And the rest of the pack sort of, and I should mention that one of the reasons why I went this way is because my draft crashed. And one card, I went Herald into, I don't even remember now. It's too bad. But I know when my draft crashed, it was my 4th pick, and I came back. I had lots of time to figure out what I wanted, and I'd noticed that Nyxborn Wolf had been picked for me.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, yes. So
can I actually see this? Because I'm curious of something.
So took the Nyxborn Wolf, and then through Theros, it was just crazy open. Like I got that the Reaper 4th or 5th pick. I picked up both Sedge Scorpions pretty late.
So yeah, here's something interesting, because I've also found that I've enjoyed drafting green black in this. Of your 23 here, without looking, how many cards are from Born of the Gods? Of your 23 main deck playables.
1, 2.
I guess you know the deck, but
5. Yeah.
Aspect of Hydra, Swordwise Centaur, Nyxborn Wolf, Herald of Torment, and Fairies Band Tromper.
Wow.
And I think
Fairies Band Tromper could be a legit first pick.
He's really solid, but I don't think he's necessarily a first pick. But I think what I'm finding, at least when I've drafted green-black in this, is that because everyone is frankly fighting over like red and white and blue especially, and black to a lesser extent, you can be the guy who's in green-black in Born of the Gods, but you can also take other stuff. You can sort of sort it out, and then if you get enough good green-black cards, then in Theros, you can just be like, yeah, I'm the guy in green-black, so
yeah,
all you can fight over all those other cards, or all those other colors that you got put into by the bonkers cards in Born of the Gods, and I'll just take all this really solid stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, green's not showy, but it gets the job done.
The latest Farika's Menders I've ever seen.
Yeah, like the Menders, like, so standout card, like number 1 standout card last night through all my drafts is the Mogus Marauder. That card is so good.
He's really good.
When you can bring him out, attack with 4 or 5 guys, and just he's dead. Like he just can't block anything because you have enough devotion in the black to give everything Intimidate.
And it's I'm finding more and more now, it's rare to find someone who's heavy in black.
Yeah, absolutely. What was absolutely lacking in this deck is hard removal.
Sip.
There's a couple Sedge Scorpions, which are great, but there's no sips. There's no the Farika's Cure. There's none of that.
You have a time to feed,
and there's a time to feed, and it worked, but it wasn't enough. Especially in the finals. So I made the finals with this deck, and we went to game 3, and just a combination of just really unfortunate draws on my end, and a Daxos plus Nimbus Naiad on his side was just too much. Like I just couldn't block it at all. Like it was the worst. And
did he cast any bonkers stuff?
He cast the Mender.
Oh no!
And he cast Artisan Sorrow, but doing really nothing with the Sorrow. Yeah. He just did it to scry. I think. Wait, didn't he do it? I think he did it to one of his own things to scry. I think, which is completely fair.
It's fine.
And if I'd drawn like a sip, I had like 2 or 3 turns to kill that Daxos with the Naiad on it. And if I'd drawn the sip at any point, it would have been
the sip you didn't have.
The sip I didn't have. It would have been like basically if I could replace Cavern Lampad with a sip and Nyxborn Eidolon
with the Farika's
Cure, I think this deck probably would have been unstoppable.
Yeah,
like I think this deck would have just been completely, absolutely bonkers. Like I just would.
Well, here's an interesting thought about Mogus's Marauders, which, I mean, even if somebody else is doing like a black control deck, they don't even want that card because it gives things like Intimidate, right?
Well, if
and
they
don't
control,
want to swing in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's for an aggressive.
It's best in black green.
Yeah.
Or black red.
The one last thing I will
Don't forget, because you can give intimidate
to
your green creatures.
Yeah.
And they can then only be blocked by
Right.
artifact creatures or green creatures.
Yeah.
That's it. I've had opponents. I've done it myself, but more than I've made the mistake myself, my opponents have made that mistake when thinking that they can block something because the effect came from a black creature, but like I give like a blue creature intimidate, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just block this with my." Why can't? Oh, because you get that problem.
Yeah. The one last thing I'll say about this deck, and it's more of a PSA for you guys, but on the very far end there, you'll see the Mistcutter Hydra. 1X. X is obviously, X equals number of land you tap for it. It has haste. Please remember it has haste. It has a bunch of other stuff, but haste is important. It never cost me a game, but it could have won me a game quicker if I had remembered.
You cast it and just go like, all right.
No, I cast it post combat, which I just
No,
completely forgot
I've
about.
done that.
Yeah,
you scrub.
it's just a matter of reading the cards and remembering that. Like I saw it and it's
protection
just
from blue.
Protection from blue. I knew, and that's what would have won me the game because he had nothing but blue creatures down. And I'm like, if I played it, it would have killed him. I still killed him. It was second round. It was fine. I was still in a dominant board position, but it was just like, if I just cast this when I could have cast it, and it missed him by 1. I could have cast this thing as a 1/1 with haste and protection from blue, and I would have won that turn on turn 6 or 7. But I ended up having to wait 1 extra turn. But that gives him that 1 extra draw, which is
James,
just
loose.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just never good. Never give your opponent that extra draw.
So how did you do last night? You said you went.
So I drafted 4 times. I made it to the finals 3 out of 4 times, which was really good. I was really happy with that. I didn't win a single draft, though. I lost in the finals twice. I split once because that was the last draft of the night. My opponent was like, split. I'm like, yep, it's late. I want to go to bed. Lost the die roll, so technically I didn't get a single QP last night from any of that. And then I scrubbed out in round 1 with the second far worse black-green deck that I drafted, which I actually have a picture of at home, so I can take a snapshot of that. And
do you feel happy when you just make it to the finals? Like when you're in an 8-4, are you just like? I also want to win. Obviously,
it really depends. If I'm in the finals and I feel like I deserve to be there, and I feel like my deck can win, yes, I can walk away feeling pretty good about it, or just start it feeling pretty good about it. If I get there and my deck is trash and I'm feeling kind of meh about it, then I want to start winning. Like, then I really want to win. Like, it's weird because I feel like I need to win regardless if I feel like I deserve it or not.
I actually find it's weird. I actually find, because we're talking to clarify, we're talking about these single elimination events, the 8-4s, where you get 8 packs for first place, 4 packs for second place, and nothing for the other 6 people at the table, and it's single elimination. I find round 2 to be the most stressful.
Round 2 is very stressful
because it's
especially in the
because it's like I'm mentally invested in this.
Yep.
I'm here. I'm in the second round, and if I don't win this, then I've done a draft and a match and a match.
And I'm walking away with nothing except for the cards I opened.
Because I enjoy playing Magic, and if I didn't, then I wouldn't draft. But
you're like, so close yet so far.
No, but then once I get to the finals, I can be like, okay, at worst, I'm walking out of here with 4 packs plus all the cards I drafted, so I can actually relax and sort of like
enjoy this game,
enjoy the game, but also like just focus on it from a less stressful kind of like.
It's funny. I'm more. Maybe stressed is a bad word, but I'm more stressed in the finals, but I'm more upset if I lose second round, right? Like if I lose in the finals, I'm like, ugh, suck.
Yeah,
I really wanted to win. This sucks. My deck was really good, whatever. If I lose in the second round, I feel like I've wasted an hour and a half or 2 hours of my life. And I don't like that feeling. I would rather lose in the first round. Yeah. You would rather lose in the first round or win or lose in the last round, never in the second round, because it's just the worst. Because you're just that one step away from walking away with something, and it just gets snatched away from you.
It's funny, as I know I've told you before, but I never get that upset when my opponent has a good deck and draws good cards and kicks my ass with it, and I don't even get that upset. Like, I'm bummed, but I don't even get that upset when it's like when I just draw land after land after land. It's like, well, that's how the game goes. But as Kathleen will attest to, I get very upset with myself when I've lost the game because of a mistake I've made. When it's clearly like not just like loose play, when it's like an obvious.
You just didn't see something.
Yeah. What happened the other day that I was like?
You were too mad to explain it.
No, I showed you on the screen. I just don't remember what it was.
No, you just said there was a line and I didn't see it, and the sky had and creatures, and you didn't show me on the screen.
I don't get angry when
It was something on board. It was really stupid.
I don't get angry when I flood. I don't get angry when I don't draw enough land.
No.
I tend not to get angry if a guy just completely stomps me. I do get angry when the guy has an answer to everything that I'm doing,
so annoying.
and when I feel like I'm doing everything right.
Yeah.
Like that's when I get annoyed. When I get angry when I play out this and then do this, and then next turn I do something else, and I feel like this is perfect, and then all of a sudden it's just like Sea God's Revenge, and it's just like, okay, I can work back from this. And this happened a couple days ago. I worked back, and he cast Sea God's Revenge again, and I was just like,
2 of them.
okay,
Two of
I
them.
can't win. I'm probably like under 5% to win here at this point, but I'm gonna keep trying, and then Voyage's End, and then Griptide, and it's just it's the use of basically the same effect that like I was screaming in my house at this point. Like I literally screamed out loud, really loudly. Like I was so angry because
Was your dog like, what the F?
she wasn't home, luckily. Neither her or Ashley were home, but I just lost it because I was like, like everything I do, it just goes away, and it doesn't even go away dead. It goes away to either my hand or the top of my library, and it's just so frustrating.
How good though do you feel when you're in those positions?
I feel good, but I also feel kind of bad at the same time because I know that there's another person on the other end. Like a couple,
yes, but when you're just like Gods, Griptide, Voyage's
yeah,
End.
like you feel good, but like a couple earlier in the week, I drafted that Phoenix deck.
Oh my god,
this black blue
ruined by a
mill Phoenix deck, and I just felt I won 5 out of my 6. I won the 8 for her, and I 2-0'd every match, and I won 5 out of the 6 games by milling my opponent. And I just felt completely filthy the entire time because I was just like, oh, this is so mean. Like,
nice mythic, bro.
Pass the turn, and it's just like mill you, and just like tap my board of 6 guys and mill you for 20 cards, and it's just like, I'm sorry.
Okay, here's the thing: like you draft cards that are good and that you enjoy playing, and then I can't really feel too mad. Like I'm trying to be a more calm person because I get very stressed out about stupid things. Like Graham was watching me play Final Fantasy X last night. And I was playing Blitzball.
Into that Blitzball
and I was
game.
just screaming, raw, defense, raw. And it's computer controlled. I can't do anything, but I was like really mad at it. So I try to be calmer when I play Magic, especially when I'm playing with an actual person. And which I do most of the time when I'm playing Magic nowadays. And just like the important thing is to remember is that if you were playing this card, you would be happy to play it. It's a good card. And you know what? It's fine. Like, it's frustrating,
Everything
but it's
is
just a
fine.
game of Magic. And I have to tell myself this a lot when I play.
That's fair.
Because I'm very cranky. I just take it a step
I mean,
back.
that's
and
one of
just
the
go,
reasons I very much enjoy Mikko is because I can get kind of cranky and I
You
can
can
get a
get
little
pissy.
angry because nobody's there to judge. Like,
Yeah.
never in a million years if I went to a GP or Friday Night Magic or any real in-game, like even drafting here at the office, I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to yell at myself.
And
I'm
even
just,
on Magic Online, you're not going to say anything to the person.
No, I never ever like. I hate people who
hate when people-
chatty people
Who
or
get
like
pissy.
luck sack and get all salty about how stupid your deck was and how awesome your draws were and how terrible theirs were, and it's just like, dude, just chill out. Like, just scream at your computer like a regular human being and move on with your life and draft again. Like,
just be salty in your
in
your own home,
the
on
comfort of your own.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Don't
Yeah,
bring it
don't-
up in chat. Like, ugh.
Yeah. The important thing is that you are still playing, like, even if things aren't going your way, you're still playing a game you really enjoy. Although, like, and then, okay, speaking of, like, getting mad, and then there, you gotta, I don't know if I mentioned this story on TTC yet.
Bring it
I was
up.
at Lady Planeswalkers, and we're drafting, and we did a draft, and then we're playing, and I was playing against a lady, and she was playing a white-red deck, and she went first, and I put down a swamp. She goes, "Oh, black, I just really can't play black cards. I just find them kind of underhanded and sort of evil. I just can't do it." And I was like, "Oh, well, I really like black, and it's got some good effects. Duress. Let me see your hand."
Filthy.
And, I couldn't help but like smirk a little bit, and I felt bad about it.
As long as you
for
feel
the
bad
smirking.
about it.
Yeah.
But it was good to see her hand and pitch out her act of treason, which made me feel doubly good. No, that was actually the game. That was not act of treason I pitched. It was the white rod where you get 1 life every time you play a white spell, and I cannot remember what it is. It's an M14. Staff of
whatever. But why?
Crystal Rod.
No. Staff. It's from M14. It was
It's the staff of the something mage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Staff of the Sun Mage or something.
There was a cycle in M14 of staffs of the whatever magus.
Yeah,
Staff of
Sun
the-
Magus.
There it is.
Yeah,
Staff of the Sun Magic.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I got her active treason the next game.
Why was she running staff of the sun mages?
Because if
you're playing a heavy
your
white deck-
if your reaction to somebody playing a swamp is I don't like playing swamps
fair
because
enough, fair
it's
enough.
evil, it sounds like somebody who doesn't play Magic very often, and that's the kind of card that beginners play, and that's completely fine.
So-
But
We went on sort of like
also, she was playing like a slower white defensive deck with a lot of walls.
fair
enough.
So
That's cool.
I've done
honestly, it was a good card for her deck.
I mean,
And
we did the mono white
yep,
M14 deck on,
and we played that card.
So-
I think we played 2 of those
It
cards.
wasn't necessarily
sure
a
did.
beginner's choice.
Yeah.
But just try to be pleasant to other players in real life or on MitGo. Keep your salt to yourself. Put it inside your head.
So that was a interesting sort of big
Tangent.
tangent there about like drafting philosophy and how you feel and everything. But back to BTT. How do you feel you are in it? Because I felt very confident about my Theros drafting. I've been putting up reasonable numbers and stuff, but I don't feel that I am. And I've won 1 or 2 drafts with BTT, but I've lost more than that. And I don't feel that I have a firm footing in BTT yet, and I'm not quite sure why, and I think it's because of the weird imbalance of power to different colors in comparison to Theros, and everyone's sort of fighting over similar things in the first pack or something. Like how,
Well,
like
and the different power, the power differences in sort of in the colors in Born of the Gods mean that you can't do the same strategies that you did in Theros.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the like blue-black control just does it doesn't work as well because you have access to 1 pack less of gray merchants. And 1 gray merchant is okay, but the gray, like the black, like blue-black control deck was really good, or black devotion was really good if you had 3 gray merchants, which is not going to happen probably.
And you're
now.
using Grey Merchant as an example, but that same could be said for
Any.
the cards that I really loved in that deck with like Return Phalanx and Baleful Eidolon and stuff like that.
Yeah, you just have
But-
so much less chance to get them now.
So you made it to 3 finals last night, so you can't be that bad. But how do you feel overall?
I feel
With
pretty.
BTT.
I feel pretty good. I mean, it's like any format. If you're winning, you feel good, and if you're losing, you feel like crap. I feel like this format rewards those who move out of the colors when they like. For instance, that black green deck that I drafted last night started black red. I first picked. Oh, now I remember my picks now. Actually, I first picked the Herald into Bolt. Into Fall of the Hammer.
Oh, sweet.
And I felt pretty good about going that direction.
There you go.
And then draft crashed. And I was like, uh-oh, this is bad. And I get back in, and
You
I
picked
have
the Nyxborn Wolf.
I pick up the Nyxborn Wolf, and I have about 5 seconds left, and that's when I pick up the Tromper.
Oh, okay, sweet. Because they were assuming there wasn't any good red in that pack.
There was no good red in that pack, and the only other green card was the
card.
There was no good black or red in that pack.
Yeah.
There was the Tromper and the 5/5 that pumps out the 3/3s.
Yeah, the Fairies Band Raiders.
Thank you.
There's Fairies Band Raiders, Centaurs, and Tromper.
Yeah, so I much prefer the Tromper over the Raider.
Oh yeah. Cheaper.
So I picked that up, and then just the green and black started flowing. I feel like maybe I lucked into that one a little bit with the crash and it actually picking a good card for me. I thought that was awesome. But
there might not have been anything in that pack for you anyway. You might have picked the wolf by yourself.
It's true, but I think knowing when to, and I think this is true for any format really, but it seems to be holding more true for me right now with BTT is moving out of a color when you know it's not working anymore.
Yeah, I think
especially red and white, right? Like you need to bail on those colors as soon as possible if you don't think it's working out.
I think that's part of the problem I'm having is people doing or not doing that. And of course it changes depending on which draft you're in. You'll get like the draft as a whole will or will not do that. And I just feel like it's so disorienting in the Born of the Gods pack that like something will be open and then it won't, and then it might be again later or whatever. Whereas in Triple Theros,
people kind of settled into the archetypes, and you could start putting together your deck.
Yeah, but even
sort of like
earlier,
halfway pack through like pack 1, you kind of all right, this is where I'm going, and then like by pack 2, you'd be fairly certain what direction you're heading in.
But even earlier in the format, like later in the format, when everyone was settled into like the archetypes, that made more sense. But even earlier in the Theros format, partway through the first pack, I felt more comfortable than I do partway through the Born of the Gods. And I think it comes down to, like we said earlier, I think it comes down to the power imbalance of different colors between like comparing red from Theros,
well,
I mean
overall the power is significantly less in Born of the Gods compared to Theros.
I do find a lot more. I do find myself opening a lot more packs that I'm like, this pack is dirt.
Yeah, like the overall power level of the entire set is what I mean is significantly lower than Theros. So it's if you find yourself in a certain 2-color, if you feel like you feel pretty confident in a 2-color deck after the Born of the Gods pack, that might not hold up all that well, and it's knowing when to move out of that color that's just not working for you. The format does not reward people who open up a draft and be like, I'm going to play these 2 colors. I'm going to make this work, right? Except for mono green, that always works. You'll always win.
Okay, here's another observation, just quickly. In Theros, you had the gods, which were, could be good, but hard to get off. Mm-hmm. Hard to make go.
There you go. Yeah, that's better. Phrasing.
Hard to truly capitalize to their full extent. Hard to live the dream. Mm-hmm. But you also had the gods' weapons, which were so good. Like Whip of Erebos is just nuts. And like Spear of Heliod in the right deck is very, very good.
I have a quick beat story to tell you when you're done.
But in Born of the Gods, you of course have the dual-colored gods, which are...
Why don't they have weapons?
Yeah, I was just about to say. You have the dual-colored gods, which are easier to live the dream on because it's much easier to beat that devotion target. But they don't have the weapons, right? So
I haven't actually heard why they don't have the weapons, so I'm curious. I'm actually legitimately curious why they didn't. Like maybe they'll be in the next sets.
Too many multicolored cards?
I have no idea. I mean,
but they covered the main gods of the Pantheon, right?
Well, it's a smaller set, and having another cycle of 5 rares.
Yeah,
another cycle of multicolored rares.
Just makes it wouldn't be 5, it'd be 3.
No, it'd be 5. Yeah. There's 5 in Born of the Gods.
Oh yeah.
Because like the thing is with the Spear of Heliod or like a Whip of Erebos or
the Jite of Nylea.
Yeah.
Those are really, really good. Those are solid. Those are like first pick windmill slams, even if you're not going to take the god to go with them.
Bident and Hammer a little lower down, but they can still do good work.
They can, I'm talking about the ones that I really like.
Yeah.
And of course, those would really like pick up the sort of the power quality of your deck. And it would be not inconceivable that you might stumble across one of these because they're only rare, and you got 3 packs to do.
And they're always double colored. So if you open those in your double color, you're probably passing them.
Yeah, exactly. If that's pack 3 and I'm not in green at all, and I open a Bow of Nylea, I'm like, this is a great card, but I'm not wasting my first pick on this.
No.
I'll never play that. So you don't have that. You've lost like 1 pack of opportunity. You don't have the same sort of power in Born of the Gods. So I think that's kind of what brings the relative power level of the set down, is you don't have those cards that are powerful and good no matter what. Because those are very, very strong cards.
So speaking of the whip,
yes.
Very, very quickly, I was in the grindiest friggin' game with this guy who was basically mono black running, I think like a single island for Phoenix. Like he was mono black, absolutely. Phoenixed me out in game 1, got him in game 2. I didn't see Phoenix in game 2. Didn't see Phoenix in game 3. Was just grinding against him with this green-black deck that I had. And he had Asphodel Wanderer and Servant of Timuret and was just like block regen, draining me with the Servant. It was really, really annoying. But I was chiseling away and I was getting there and I had like double the life that he did, and I could like in a couple more turns maybe I'd be in a position where I could attack and get him. And he cast the whip. And that was when I lost the game. we went for many, many turns later, but when he cast the whip was when I was like, I can't win this, because now all his creatures have lifelink, and any attack that I make is entirely negated. Because we had massive boards. It was a huge grindy stall. And he had Grey Merchants and stuff like that. In fact, the first thing he did with the whip, on the turn he cast it, he had 8 mana, so he cast the whip and then reanimated Grey Merchant to hit me for 9 Black Devotion.
Oh.
And so we're building back and forth. I'm like trying to stabilize again. And then he casts a Erebos' Emissary on Mogis' Marauders. And my misplay was that I didn't just chump Mogis' Marauders. In my head, I'm like, I gotta try and get his creatures off the board. So I double blocked and I killed the Marauders, and I only lost a guy, so we were trading 1 for 1. He didn't have any cards in hand, so I knew he couldn't pump the Emissary, and I'm like, all right, good. You know, that's 1 more creature off the board. I've just killed myself, was what went through my head, because with Mogis' Marauders in his bin, all he had to do next turn was reanimate it with the whip,
Yep.
give his whole board Intimidate, and I had 2 black creatures and the rest
he
were
just,
green.
like, walks over you.
And he just passes on through, like they all got friggin' shadow, and I'm like, oh.
They're just like, hey, green guys, what's up?
Dominated.
Doop-a-doop-a-doo, just walking through.
But it was this amazing.
He straight domed yow.
Yeah, he just domed me. It was this amazing moment of just like, okay, good, all right, so that's down. He's got 1 less creature, and I'm dead. as slowly I realized what I had just done, and I mean, let's be honest, there was no way I was winning that game anyway. But I certainly didn't make the right play in that situation. So I should say I'm having fun with BTT.
Magic is fun.
I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
like
Magic
having
is fun.
discussions.
No,
like these.
absolutely.
Sometimes it's frustrating because it's a really difficult, challenging game that requires strategy and
That's
like
why I love it.
strategy and like
No, I'm sure.
complex
I'm sure
thinking.
everyone thought you were actually pronouncing strategy.
Like, it is a very complicated game, and you can get invested in it, but it should be fun at the end of the day. So remember to have fun,
If you're,
no matter
if you're
what's
not having
happening.
fun, stop playing.
And make sure your opponents have
That's
fun
a really
too.
good point, actually. If you're not actually having fun, maybe don't play it.
Yeah, but
That's what I hear from Ashley every once in a while when she hears me scream. If you're not having fun, stop playing.
and the thing is,
My
yeah,
dad said that to me once in high school when I was really angry with like Breath of Fire 3 or something. He's like, why do you keep playing this game if you're that angry with it? And I'm like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
you're not. I'm not actually angry enough to quit. But as I said, not jokingly, make sure you're like do your best to make sure your opponent is also having fun. Respect them and keep your salt to yourself. And
Well, I'm going to
be of
respect my
night.
opponent. It's not my responsibility to
Yeah,
make sure they're
yeah.
enjoying themselves.
Absolutely
No,
not.
but you can make somebody's play experience bad. So don't do that.
Well, if I'm at a GP, I don't really care how they're feeling.
I
I'm not
think-
going to be an asshole, but I don't if like I was at a GP and my opponent was being like really just cranky the whole time, and I'm not going to be like, "Hey buddy, come on." You know, I'm just going to be like, "All
let's
right,
talk.
I'll just sit here
I'm
and
just
let
saying
them
that
fume."
everybody should remember that they're playing a real person, and everybody should try to have a good time and act like a nice person.
Okay, mom.
All right, so I think that's enough of the discussion portion.
We want you guys
today.
to design a new card.
We want you to design a new card.
We had a lot of fun with the roll up the rim and the Tim Horton ones.
Yeah, it worked really well. So this will have gone up after you have seen this week's Loading Ready Run video, which was Commodore Hustle.
Assuming you watch our other stuff.
You should probably go watch our other stuff. Pause right now, go watch the video, and then you'll know what the hell we're talking about when we say we want you to design the final boss of Excel.
The final boss of Microsoft Excel.
Now, if you didn't pause and go watch and you didn't watch it, you're probably very confused right now. You're like, why? I don't understand. But go watch the video. I think
it's like, if you're not familiar with Commodore Hustle, it's a show we do every so often in place of one of our usual sketches. It's like Friday nights without the magic.
that's exactly what it is.
It's a little.
We're also a little meaner.
Yeah,
a
it's more of a.
goofier.
Sometimes it goes into like PG-13 territory.
Yeah,
There's swears.
Wizards probably wouldn't want us with a giant sign that says "Dick
Dick
Butt."
butt, yeah.
Well, that's where Commodore Hustle is a good outlet for my dick butt jokes, Graham.
So what do we want this? So it's I feel like it's a creature.
Yeah,
It's a legendary creature.
possibly
like,
legendary.
maybe like a god.
Ooh,
Like I feel like
Could be.
stick
Could be like
away
an enchantment
stick
creature.
away from the planeswalker. We're not looking for a planeswalker. We're looking for something that can get down on the board and we can kill it, and it can kill us by attacking. Right, like it's the final boss, so it should be good. So I think
up to you. You know, legendary creature or legendary creature god, or maybe just a creature. That's up to you. But yeah, we're looking
final
for
boss. Seems like it would be
the boss of
legendary.
Microsoft.
I feel like
Excel.
it needs to be legendary. Yeah,
probably.
it needs to be legendary. It could be a god. I think gods would work. I think that'd be fun. Just
colors are up to you. I don't know what colors. I think Excel uses green as part of its icon, but that doesn't have to.
I mean, you open Excel and it's just white, right?
Yeah, exactly. So who knows?
Yeah,
who
it's up to
knows
you.
what colors it
It could be an artifact.
Yeah,
actually, it could be colorless. Yeah, there's legendary.
Use your
colors
imagination.
So maybe get some inspiration from the episode. There's 2-3 quick little scenes with Beej and Alex playing Excel. I think you guys can pull something out of that.
So post your design. You do not have to do art for it, but you sure can if you want. Post your design on the Loading Ready Run forums in the Tap Tap Concede sub forum, in the one for this episode. Also, if you watch these on our site rather than YouTube, right under the video, down here, right down in this region, there's a link to, I think it says comments, and that'll take you right to the thread for this video. So that's if you watch it embedded in the page on loadingreadyrun.com, which you can do by going there, and on the right-hand side near the top, there's a thing that says podcasts, and there's a little thing there for it.
Yeah.
We have a system. That's also where the audio version is if you don't subscribing through iTunes. There's so many different ways to consume this content. I don't actually know where most of you get it.
Anyhow.
So anyway,
on the Loading Ready Run forum.
Yeah, but you do have to post it that forum, or we're not going to see it.
Yeah. Yep. Don't put it in the YouTube comments.
No. And we will judge it next week.
Judge it.
All
Yeah. So
right.
Until then, thank you guys for joining us.
Bye, everybody.
And we will talk to you next time on Tap Tap Concede. Bye.
Bye.